Revelation 2857. From the 22nd of August 1943. Value of knowledge over the state of ignorance. A continual change of the outer form brings about the maturity of the spiritual contained therein, that is, it constantly develops further. And this is the reason for the constant coming into being and passing away of all works of creation. The process of higher development is therefore the cause as well as the purpose of creation. Through the grace of inner enlightenment, the human being is in the knowledge of this, and he now regards creation as a means to the completion of the spiritual. However, the meaning and purpose of creation is incomprehensible to people who lack the knowledge of it. For countless things exist in creation which appear without meaning and purpose because they do not carry out any apparent purposeful activity or reveal any benefit. The consequence of this lack of knowledge is that the eternal deity's greatness, love, wisdom and omnipotence are not properly recognized. The consequence is that the human being cannot feel the love for him which must be triggered by the recognition of his perfection. Furthermore, it results in the fact that the desire for God cannot be so profound because only love for God impels the human being to strive towards Him, to become like Him. Such love will never be kindled in the human being if all of God's activity and working remains hidden from him. Thus he is completely ignorant of the meaning and purpose of creation, of the connection of the individual works of creation with God. The knowing state is indisputably more valuable for man than living in ignorance. The knowing state is a sign of upward development, it is a spiritual progress, a state of light, which is understandably preferable to the state of ignorance, of darkness. To know the meaning and purpose of creation must contribute to the necessary degree of maturity, which is the purpose and goal of life on earth. Creation itself helps the human being to attain the right knowledge as soon as he pays attention to it and sends questioning thoughts out into the universe and opens himself to the mental answer which now flows towards him. For God's will is that the human being should become knowledgeable, that he should gain insight into his reign and activity, as far as this is permissible on earth. However, people themselves determine the limits of their knowledge through their will. As soon as it refuses to accept knowledge offered to it without seriously examining to what extent it can be convincingly incorporated into its body of thought, the human being's will is free. Consequently, knowledge has to be offered to him such that he is not forced to accept it, which, however, would be the case if such knowledge could be proven or the human being were convinced by a miracle of the truth of what is offered to him as truth. Rather, the human being, in all freedom of faith and will, must mentally take a position on it and decide for or against it without being influenced. And he must also subject the knowledge he has previously received to another examination to see to what extent it can stand up to what is newly offered. Only the person who seriously desires the truth will recognize the truth as such, and only there will be truth where it is seriously desired. Amen.